Yeah, so life. All right, so fine. So FFmpeg, what is FFmpeg? The name sounds strange. Most times it sounds like a multimedia player, like everybody is familiar with the word MPEG. But FFmpeg means fast forward MPEG. So it's just an open source project for video processing to um, facilitate processing of videos without you having to manually write out the C code for it. Most times, FFmpeg, open source project on GitHub is actually in C. So if I scroll to GitHub, sorry, are you on mute? If you're on mute, unmute yourself. Okay. So if I go to FFmpeg GitHub, you'll see the project on GitHub. And it has so much active participation on GitHub. We can see there was a merge that was 2 days ago. As at last night, latest 4 hours ago. So we can see how active the project is. Very, very active. Even as time goes on, people are very we can start contributing actively to the project. So this is the GitHub repo. Now it's open source and it's been so much developed. I can confidently say that most video editing projects, even video players, most of them use FFmpeg as a background to do the video processing and also video playing as well. So now let's so the components of FFmpeg, we can look at them in two categories. We can look at them, we'll first consider the command line tools, then we'll consider the libraries that are involved. It's actually split down into two. So, looking at the command line activities it offers a full installation of FFmpeg, offers you the FFmpeg itself, CLI is which enables you to do whatever video processing you want. Now, FFmpeg enables you to play videos as they are being processed. So it enables you to play videos on the fly. So the difference between FFmpeg and FFplay is that FFmpeg saves to a file, while FFplay enables you to apply effects and play to see the display live rather than waiting for it to encode it out to a file. Now we have FFpro. FFpro just helps you analyze the video or audio file to get more information about the file. Now the name FFpro, it sounds obvious, so it's just an inspecting tool. Then we have a couple of other libraries, the bar codec, the bar filter, the bar format. So all these are just like there are about 12 libraries FFmpeg ships with. I just put these ones down because these are the core libraries we're working with today. So the debug codec, which comes with a lot of codecs, and from the next slide, we'll all get to understand what is the codec, what is the string, what is the video container, all of that. We'll all get to understand it from subsequent slides. Alright.
Too fast.
Yeah, so video containers and codecs. Let's try and get a full understanding of these before we jump into FFmpeg proper, so that everything goes straight. So you have a video file, probably in .mp4, .mkv, .avi, whatever format it is. So that format you see is what is called a container. So the format just signifies the container. And what the container implies is that it contains other streams within it. So in a container, you have the video stream, you have the audio stream, and you have subtitle stream, along with other information. Things describing the video itself and the audio streams. For instance, you have the video audio bitrate, frame rate, codec information. All of this is stored within the video file itself. So a video container encompasses all of this, right? So let's try and hurry up. I've explained video container. What's the codec? The codec just helps you compress or decompress the video, right? So why do we even need codec in the first place? You could just have your video container with your raw video. Let's say you use the camcorder, you have your video raw, unprocessed. Now, what codec does is that it compresses the video into a realizable size, a size that is not so big for that consumes all your hard disk space. Take for instance, okay, there was something I wrote here. Video in its raw form is very large. For instance, if you have a HD video recorded at 60 frames per second with 1080 resolution, that it eats up 410 gigabytes per hour of video. So per hour, like imagine you just in 1 hour you already have 410 gigabytes, which is unreasonable. For just 1 hour video, it's consumed your whole hard drive at such resolution. So this is why we need codecs. There are a couple of codecs. So from the image, we need to like get the fundamental understanding of this. So that was why I put out the picture. Now from the image, we can see the container written here with the square box around it. So that signifies the video file. Now inside the video file, we have inside the video container itself, we have streams. So we have the video stream, which from here signifies H.264. Right. So what H.264 means is the codec that was used in encoding the video. So basically, not to sound too technical, the video itself contains the video stream. Now, that video stream has been compressed using a codec, right? So that the size is realizable, it can fit into our hard disk. Now, the audio file has also been compressed using a codec. And the last one is the subtitle stream. We won't do so much with the subtitle stream. So we just look at the video file and the audio file. So H.264 is a modern compression format these days. It was defined in FFmpeg 4 part 14. You guys can just check that out. All these are just theories. So let's fly.
The video file contains about 3 streams.
Yeah,
Basically 2 streams.
yeah,
Like the video stream and the audio stream.
yeah.
They are always separate.
Which are separate. There are no streams coming in.
So you can also have a subtitle stream. And you also have another stream.
You could have up to 5 streams. I can play around with streams. I mean, you could just be putting streams anyhow. Yeah, it's just a container that it can continue to contain whatever you want it to contain.
But can it put more than one video stream?
It can hold more than one video stream. Yeah, hold more than one audio stream. Yeah.
How will you be if you have more than 2 videos?
Okay, that's a very good question. If you put 2 video streams, assuming you didn't call something like an overlay, there's a filter in FFmpeg called overlay. So what that overlay filter does is that it takes your video stream and places it on. It takes an input video stream and places it on the video file you want it to be placed. So if you just stream out the 2 outputs, the 2 inputs to the outputs, what you're going, if you open it with no other player or even open it, most times just VLC, you would see it will open up like 2 different tabs, and you see it like being displayed on the same way also media
On
page.
two different windows.
On two, yeah, you see it showing on two different windows. But most times, the second stream, you won't see the second stream, it's on the plan. It's just usually the first stream you're going to see. But you can have multiple streams.
But
Yeah.
but I think is there a way for you to select the video you want to see?
Yeah.
Because I believe in audio stream, there
Yeah.
are ways you can select the audio you want to listen to. And I've seen some video where two audios are recorded.
Yeah.
You choose it like you want to listen to the English or
Yeah.
any other language.
Exactly. So it's not proper to just stream out, have two streams going to the output. You should call a filter on the streams. Like you have to, if it's two videos, why do you want to have two videos in your output? Probably you want to put one on top of the other, or you want to, or whatever, but there must be a concrete reason why you probably, or you want to concatenate the various videos. So there's still another filter called concatenation, so that when one video finish playing, it's close to the next video. So yeah, so it's not, you can do that, but from what we know, there are best practices. There are, yeah, so it's not just good to get two streams out of your output. So we've talked a lot about streams. We've seen that this refers to video or audio files wrapped in a video container. So it's just referring to your video files that are as simple as that in a nutshell. So channels, what are channels? Channels are specific to audio streams. So your video files are just stream audio files. Now, you now have audio streams. Now you can listen to music on two earphones. Why? It has a left and a right channel. So those are the two channels you have. With FFmpeg, you can even off one channel. You only hear music on one headphone. So you can mix up, yeah. You can change, yeah. Yeah. You can take one channel to the other channel. You can interchange the channel. So those are some of the possibilities of FFmpeg. You can just play around with streams. So if you have two streams going out, it's called stereo. If you have one stream, it's mono. So bitrate just refers to the amount of bits that are transmitted per second as the video is playing.
So I can, as an artist, listen. I can use the album, I can only hear on the left ear.
For some reasons, you may want to record your video and have it mono. So it's just coming out in one channel to reduce file size. So with FFmpeg now, you get that mono stream, you split the mono stream into two and assign it to the two channels. So it will now become stereo. Maybe when you transmitted it and see it at the right end. Alright, so frames, video frames. So a video is just a combination of pictures that run very fast. So you just have so many pictures and run them fast. That's just a video.
Does that mean you have anything to do with the video quality?
Exactly. It has, okay, I didn't talk about that. It has a very high relationship with the video quality. So bit rate implies the amount of bits that are transmitted per second as the video plays, right? So the more number of bits you have means the more information that can be represented about the video. You know, we getting this video from as an analog signal also. Yeah. So for those of us that if we ever did anything concerning sampling, yeah. So what that implies is that per second of that video, there is an amount of bits representing per second of that video. So the more bits you have means you can represent more light intensity, more color intensity. So you have more information accommodated once you have more bits. So that's why the higher the number of bits, the more clear it is. Alright, so let's so frame rates also. Frame rates just refers to how many frames. Frames are just pictures. So how many frames are playing per second for the video? So most videos, for instance, television, NTSC runs at 25 frames per second. So if you're watching your TV, the number of frames it runs per second is 25 frames per second. So the more frames you have, the higher your video size. But it doesn't necessarily affect video quality. It just affects what I mean by video quality is at this stage is the clarity of the video, so that the video doesn't have all those noise around it. But what it affects is the fluidity, like how smooth the video goes. So that's what frame rate affects. So the higher the frame rate, ideally, the better the fluidity of the video. But this frame rate topic is still there are still certain things under the frame rate topic, but with this core understanding, we can work with these things for sure.
Is there a relationship between frame rate and bit rate?
Frame rate, yes, there is a relationship because the more frames you have means the more number of bits you transmitting. But now, for us to correctly relate that, we need to know the amount of bits a frame is taking. So by knowing the amount of bits a frame is taking, and by knowing the amount of frames per second, then we can get the bits per number of bits per second. So from that alone, like we've gotten the relationship. Yeah. So like number of frames per second times the bits in one frame gives you the bits per second. So resolution just refers to the size of probably a video file. So it's measured in pixels. So for a HD video, highest quality is what you can get is 1920 by 1080. So what that means is the width of the screen is 1920, the height is 1080 pixels. So using an aspect, the higher the number of pixels, yeah, the better the resolution. HD is represented in 180. So
the bigger the size.
yeah, the bigger the size. So if you play a big size video in a small screen, you show quality. If you play it, well, whichever screen you take it to, you show quality. That's so. The reason for reducing resolution is on your mobile device, you don't really need a very high resolution since your screen in the first place is small. So if you have something of 720 pixels in width and probably 480, as far as it conforms to aspect ratio of 16:9. Aspect ratio is just the proportion between the width to the height. That's just the idea behind aspect ratio. So now if you divide 1920 by 1080, right, if you reduce it to less times, you should get an aspect ratio of 16:9. Yeah, so many theories. Can't wait to move on to the practical. Now, sampling frequency. This more of relates to audio. So it's just saying that you have an audio signal, a raw audio signal, and if you want it to, if you want, we've discussed that, if you want it to be clearer, you need to have more. So this is just what this implies. But we're not talking of bits this time. We're talking of frequency. So the more points you sample out in the audio signal, the better you're able to like correctly translate that raw audio signal into digital format, and it won't lose several effects. So that's just sampling frequency. So basically, the higher the sampling frequency, the better the audio. And the last thing, I think this is the last slide. Okay, before I just brief on this. So the previous slide. So pixel format, just talking about we have pixels, tiny dots on the screen. So the format of the pixel. Is it in RGB format, which is red, green, blue, or YUV? So these are the two main formats in pixels. So let's progress. So now, back to FFmpeg. We've been talking about videos and trying to understand strings, containers, codecs, and I hope we've achieved the understanding. Now, so let's look at the transcoding process of FFmpeg. How does it work? So now, whenever you put in a file into FFmpeg and you want it to run an operation, the way it does that is that it receives your input file, right? It takes it through what's called a demuxer, a kind of demultiplexer. So what that does is it takes your container and those contents in the container, it separates those contents out
into all the streams.
yeah, into all the streams. So it takes those components and from the streams, it also gets out the packets representing all the streams, right? Yeah. So it takes them. Remember, they're encoded using the codec. So it takes them, decodes them. So what we have now is are decoded frames, and then it re-encodes them. At this re-encoding stage, that's the stage you're telling FFmpeg, okay, do this for me. I don't want I don't want this audio again to play. Play me this other audio. I want to remove the watermark from this image. So it's at this encoding aspect that everything happens. So it encodes them back and gives you your encoded data packets and then puts everything back into the output file for you. So basically, there are three ways of using FFmpeg. You can use it in normal form, or you could use what they call filters. You could apply filters while using FFmpeg. Right? Any questions so far? Time. How many minutes now? Okay. So the filters are into two categories. We have simple filters, we have complex filters. Now, if you apply simple filters, it just means there's one input, there's one output. So you take your frames, you're shipping them out to one output. That's just the whole idea behind simple filters. So whenever I mention we're using a simple filter, what we understand is that we have just one input and we're taking it out to one output. So, but complex filters can take from several input files and process them and produce several output files. So that's just the two differences between filters. So what are filters? If you wanted to apply something like make an image fade in time, that's a filter in FFmpeg called fade filter. If you wanted to put or probably reduce the volume of your input file, it's called or boost up the volume. You can boost up the volume of the file with FFmpeg. You call that the volume filter. So all these things are just called filters. That's the basic understanding of the filter. Um, it helps you get basic functionality done. All right, so let's move on to the practicals. So what I did was I composed a wiki with having most of the codes well explained, and it's going to like help out very well. Even in our spare time, you could contribute to the wiki. Although I bought the wiki, but I'm going to open up the wiki so that I can receive contributions as we learn continue to learn FFmpeg. Yeah. So I'll share the link. For our viewers. Here's the link. Then,
Okay, I'll share it.
okay, you share the link. Perfect. All right. So I divided the week into several sections. We have tweaking videos without applying filters, mapping video audio streams and channels with FFmpeg, tweaking videos using simple filters, and applying complex filters to videos. Right, so if you open any of the wiki, it's well explained. We'll go with the simplest examples. We'll build on those examples. Now, the first example, let me get to my terminal. All right, so in my terminal, I have a video file. I used Andela video file, Andela.mp4. So let me just convert that to an API video. So that we can see how easy the transcoding process is. Okay. Is the screen okay? All right. So it begins encoding it. Now from the stream, from the outputs, there are certain things we can observe. One of them is the mapping. So this is H264, a codec. So it's a codec for, we can also look up all these things as we interact. So it's a codec that is used by MPEG. That's for a very high quality MPEG. It's very modern. Like it just came out, and so most MP4 files of high quality run with H264. So we're converting it to AVI. So what AVI uses by default is, as the codec is, okay, you have MPEG-4. So MPEG-4 has different parts. You have parts 2, you have parts 10, parts 4, part 14. So H264 was defined in part 14. So we still see AAC mapping onto MP3. And so MP3 in this sense is the format, but the codec behind it, the library that was used to map that was libmp3. So we have libmovies, we have libsierra. Okay, so all of that are so it's just a core understanding. So the string doesn't look so strange. So what I did was andela.avi. So QuickTime won't open it, so I will use VLC to open it. So it runs well at a very poor resolution as compared to the original video file. A way we could have boosted that was to increase the bit rate, and the resolution would be far clearer. Now, so we have ways of the content for the fact that it's called MP4, for the fact that it's called API, it doesn't restrict it to have a particular codec. So an API file can have different codecs within it for both the video and audio streams. But you could specify it to hold this particular codec, because if you convert it by default, it converts it to the native codec used by that container. Anything so far? Okay, so
So what do you say codec is again?
Okay, a codec, like compressor, decompressor, helps you compress your files, helps you decompress it. So it's a two-way thing. All right. So for instance, from what we've been saying, if I wanted to increase the bit rates or tweak the bit rates, this this very so let me explain the previous command I entered. I imputed it without explaining. So now converting from one file format to another, FFmpeg-I saying, okay, FFmpeg, this is my input, right? Dash I signifies this is my input file. Then output file.avi. You don't have to see dash row or anything. So the last file at the end, it automatically knows that's the output file. So dash I, then the other one is your output file.
Sorry, quick question. If anything that's
So
I
yeah,
out. So let's say I
no
have
dash row.
MP4 file and I want to convert to MP3,
Okay,
which is an OGRE.
yeah, okay.
So if I say FFM dash I and that dot MP4 output and that dot MP3.
Yeah, yeah. So in that case, you have MP4, which is theoretically a video file, right? Having a video and audio stream. So doing that, you may want to remove the video stream so that you know that only the audio stream is going out to the MP3 file. So a way of doing that, let's just quickly do that. So if I in the Andela video, if I say if I wanted to remove the video stream so that I have just the audio stream going out to the output, there's a flag for that. You just say vn, which means no video. That's vn, no video. Andela.mp3. Okay, so I didn't put my mp4 here. So when you hit that, it begins to process. And so we can open up Andela.mp3. And
Doesn't mess up the original video.
I cut out the video stream. So all we have now going to the output is audio. No, it's yeah, it's still intact. We didn't tamper with the original file. So we can get the audio stream from there. We've cut out the video stream. So that just the audio stream is going out.
Nigeria is the largest country in Africa, 177 million people. It's larger than Russia. If you leave, then brilliance is distributed.
So
Commander, we are saying command video to
So they are all you could also remove video stream. You remove audio stream, you have just video without audio. And we could decide to even capture out an image from the video. Right? So
Snapshot of the screen.
yeah, a snapshot of the screen. Let's quickly do that. FFmpeg.
You don't get video.
Okay, you could use any video.
Sorry, I will go down.
Okay, there's an in my wiki page. Just go to the home. You will see FFmpeg installation. I shared this thing.
Yeah, I had an error installed. Especially that down.
Okay, leave MP3 there.
Yeah. So I'm having issues with it since I tried to telling me. So I was able to do all the home use install those things. Okay. Run the FFmpeg.
Yeah, yeah.
But then I didn't just config all those changes.
Okay.
That's very great. Because I noticed that place there's where you have dash dash.
Wow. Probably something we can look out immediately after the so I want to capture an image from the 10 second of the video. So I say dash SS10. which is the 10th second of the video, dash v frames. So v frames implies the number of video frames I want. So in this case, I want one video frame. So I'll convert it to andela.jpg. So if I hit enter, it's done the conversion for me. So when I say andela.jpg, I get the image at the 10 second. So it's quite very easy. It's quite very easy to. There are so many wonderful features actually of FFmpeg. You can change
Sorry,
the
the FFmpeg is open source, right?
It's open source. For those of us that are very good in C, you can begin to contribute. I hope so. We can begin to contribute to it. It's open source.
That's ABC.
Are you serious?
So, okay, mapping. Because of time, we won't be able to like run through everything. So let's look at just applying.
Can you write to a screen like?
Yeah, okay. Let me write a text to this. So that's under using simple filters. Where is simple filters? Tweaking videos using simple filters. So it's open. You could reduce the volume of a video, apply echo effect. So if the video is sounding like it's echoing, when someone talks, you hear an echo like.
Sorry, do you mean the default audio like even if you increase the rate of your system, so
It can, yeah. Okay, with the volume command, it can boost the volume signal. That's I don't know the kind of the implementation. I really don't know how they implemented it, but it's boost. It gets louder. Yeah, you can boost it. So if I from that command, like 1.0 stands for the normal volume. So if I want to reduce it, I'll go with 0.5. I've reduced it by half. If I want to boost it by 2, I'll go with 2.0. So there's a limit. The limit is 10. You can't pass 10, but you can boost the volume 10 times. That's the implication. So let's just try writing the text.
See, okay. What you mean by there's a limit, it means that at the first pass of encoding, you can't, the volume option will be more than that. Although if you do that first one, then you do it again, you add all that thing.
Yeah. That's smart. There's actually there's something in FFmpeg that works that way because doing it straight doesn't work. So if you want to get the outputs with that multiplier, it will work that way with it. So you can just continue. Then you can even do that in one command. You don't need to even be saying you get the output, then from this output you get there's a way to do it in one line. You get this thing. So let's write a text on the video. So basically, looking at this, FFmpeg-I, this signifies, okay, this is my input file. -AF. -AF means, okay, I want to apply an audio filter. So in FFmpeg, there are video filters, there are audio filters. Now, the audio filter I want to apply is called volume, right? So I apply the volume filter and I can reduce the volume by 0.4. That's just the implication, right? So AF stands for audio filter, VF stands for video filter. So -VF means this is a video filter. So I specify the context. Okay, let me pick a simpler example. Okay, so VF means I want to apply a filter. So the filter I want to apply is called crop filters. And the crop filter has several parameters. For instance, W stands for width. So this is the width of my crop filter. This is the height of my crop filter, and the X and the Y stands for the position I want to start cropping. So I'm going to apply a simple filter right now to write a text on a video. So draw text is a filter. So it receives text as a parameter. So the text I'll give it is Andela. Andela Workshop Wednesday. Sorry, we have to use an external text file if you want spaces and all that. Yeah. So I'll have to use an external text file if I wanted to have spaces and all that. But since I'm in the terminal, I won't give space. So yeah, Andela Workshop is the text. Okay, I should. Okay, no problem.
Don't go right now for all small things.
Okay. So the text I want to write is Andela Workshop. Now, the next parameter I'll give is the kind of text I want to use. So I have a text file in my home page, .ttf text file in my home page. So I'm going to specify the text file using font file parameter. So you can just pass in the name of the font file. Now, equals to means, okay, the font file parameter for this filter is equals to route.ttf. Now, so this is the font I'm using. I need to tell you the font size, I need to tell you the font color, otherwise it defaults to black. So I have font size. So to make it big, from what Simon said, we'll give it 60. So 60 implies 60 pixels. So font color, white. You could even tweak opacity here too. Like if I wanted to make it at 0.3 opacity or 0.4, whatever I want to do, I can say at 0.2 or 0.4, but let's make it show clearly. So I'll leave it at white. Now, we'll specify the coordinates. So at x equals to 10, at y equals to 10. Right, let me see if I have any mistake. Okay, so we'll specify the output. So let's call it out.mp4. So it will start encoding. This is wasting our time. So next I'll use FFmpeg. So with FFmpeg, you don't need to start allowing it to write out the file. You could just, as during this process, you can just be shrinking. You could have it play on the video in real time instead of waiting for it to write out to a file. Because at the end of your play, you won't have a video file. But this one, at the end of the play, or at the end of the encoding, you have a video file. So that was the difference.
For this now, it runs throughout the video. This text will be there available.
Yeah, from beginning to end.
So you can specify time use once.
Yeah, you can. We can make it from after this example, we'll make this text scroll. So
Sorry,
we
can I?
throughout.
Can I make more like look like his fonts in the video like this guy had catch?
Yes.
Is it possible to like you can add like one effect in the video, maybe slow?
Yes, it's possible. Although I haven't tried it, but there are so many filters that you can get you this text.
That's no. So, what day to add no to the video?
No. I mean, like you know.
So I want to have reduced the time for this video. I could have just truncated it, like just extract 20 seconds from the video. So we'll just be using 20 seconds for the video for whatever one. Because this is working on a very high quality video of up to 3-4 minutes. But let's just allow it to finish. So if you were okay, it's done. So if you're working on a web app, I would have okay, if I had Andela Workshop, this is the font file. Andela Workshop. So Let me expose us to the logo filter. So the logo helps us remove watermarks from a video. So let's say you get a video with a very stupid caption, um, probably a company's name there, and you don't want the company's name to be there. So you can use the logo filter to remove that part. So this is stored as out.mp4 on my desktop. This is stored as out.mp4 on my desktop. So let me apply the logo filter to remove Andela Workshop. So it's going to, but before I do that, let me just crop out, let me crop out 10 seconds of the video.
I go be also.
These don't do like, I don't understand.
No, I've been working with it for quite some time. So that was why I'm very used to it. Yeah, nice one, program. So open out. So we have out one now. We have out one but MP4 having just 20 seconds of my video. So let's confirm. Open out one but MP4.
Yeah, I think you're fine on that.
So now this video is just 20 seconds now. So let's remove that text using the logo filter. So the logo, you just specify the x coordinates. For the video, which we use 10 as x coordinates, right? So 10, 10. So specify the width. Let's assume 100. 100. W stands for width. Specify the height. So what it means is at x, y, at that coordinates, we want to draw stuff. So there's also a band parameter, but the band parameter is deprecated, sure. So whether or not you apply band, it's still going to do whatever you want it to do. So this time around, let me use FFplay. Okay, so we see how it's removed. So it didn't completely remove it. So let's try and completely remove that. So I should increase my width. Okay, 600. 200. Alright. So it's done. So below you can remove any watermark you want to remove. But it's usually works okay, this side is blurred because it's processed. Assuming okay, if we output it out to a file, it will be smoother than that because we are still processing it and at the same time doing it. So no, FFmpeg is just a way of checking if your commands are right, so that you can now use FFmpeg to get that out. So let's just rush through applying complex filters. So complex filters allows you to have multiple inputs and one output. So for instance, if I wanted to overlay an image on a video, I'll use a complex filter. Although there's still a way to hack around that you use a simple filter. But let me just use a complex filter so that we can see how we can overlay a video. So in my desktop, I have an image file called angela.jpg. So let me overlay that on the video. Okay. So FFmpeg-I. So we're still working with andela.mp4. we're working with
I
Andela.jpg.
know they have output to one. 8 seconds.
Okay, yeah, exactly. Thank you. So out.mp4. Now, so we now working with filter complex. So what filter complex was as opposed to dash VF. Dash VF means just a view filter, a simple filter. But filter complex now implies a complex filter. So let's let's for the complex filter we apply overlay. But now this video I outputted should have a dimension of it should have the same dimension with the video. I think this video was running at one something by 1080 around that. So if I do that, it's going to cover the video. So I have to first scale the image. So what scale does is that it just restricts the size. Any questions so far or any conclusion? Okay. So now dash I, the first input, dash I, the second input. So now dash filter complex. So now I want to apply scale filter to the second input. So this just works like an array. First input is denoted as 1, as 0 rather. Second input as 1. So I want to pick on the second input, which is Andela.jpg at 1. I want to apply scale filter. So I want to scale it to 200 by 100. But I'm not specifying width, I'm not specifying height. So I just want to scale it to 200 by 100. So width and height 200 by 100. Then, so I put a comma there. So what the comma means is the output of this string, take it, pass it on to the next stage. Now I'm getting an output from my skill filter, right? And now, assuming I wanted to apply any other filter, if I wanted to apply any other filter, I can just continue here to apply my filters. But I just want to apply skill filter for antenna to filter. Then after that, I want to overlay it to my video. So I would, instead of using a comma here, I'm going to use I'm going to use this string in the middle. So let's call it over. We can label it any name. So I'm going to label this over. And my terminal is okay. So from one specifies the second string, and then I'll QJ, streaming the size to 200 by 100, and I'm saying, okay, this string down size, we'll call it over. So I'll take that to the next stage. So putting a semicolon now tells us, okay, we don't want to continue working on the previous string. We want to now do something new. So we're going to be calling in this new process because we want to involve another string. So if you're working on just one pure string, you continue to use one. But if you want to work on another string, then you now have to use a semicolon. So the first string is 0. Second string is over, right? That came out from this other guy. So I will call my overlay filter, and I can specify dimensions from overlay. So I still go with 10. I still go with 10. So if I have to give it an output, out 2, because there's already out2.mp4. All right, so it starts running. Now, FFmpeg doesn't work for complex filter. Complex filter is too more demanding for FFmpeg to be able to process it. So FFmpeg works only for simple filters and when you're not even applying the filter in the first place. So those are the two scenarios. Otherwise, we'll just use FFmpeg to see the output of this.
Before time run out, is there like a library that someone can integrate with other programming languages?
Okay, so that will be the next stage.
How about like if you, yeah, like what is it, like you want to use it to build a web app?
Okay, so we'll get to that next. Get to that next.
Why this guy is doing it?
Okay. So now, if you wanted to integrate it, actually, if you, there was a time when I initially started learning, I didn't want to learn all the underlying theory, so I was just looking for a JavaScript library, and I found out that there was actually a JavaScript library of up to 50. So then you can't use that. Yes, it's too much. You can't, yeah, you can't use that. So basically, if you wanted to incorporate this with your web app, you have to be able to get get access to the shell. If you wanted to use this from your web app, so in different programming languages, we have ways of getting to the shell. For instance, in Python, in Ruby, you use system. So with system, you can call any command, and that will take you to the shell. Python, you have OS loads. So you also have OS load system for Python. Java also you have get runtime. So PHP you have shell exec. So you have all these to run. So let me run my Ruby interpreter.
That's the question.
So we are just calling a direct FFmpeg command there. That I'm not calling any output or any. I'm not calling an output. So this just displays the information to us. So this Ruby interpreter, I'm running the command within Ruby. So within your code it should run. So if I huh?
Okay, you want to
No, this dash I handler.mp4. Like I'm currently in my okay. Let me do a PWD so that we can see. So we can see that we are in users map there. So if I do ls, you will see the handler.mp4. So from this you can run whatever command you want to run.
even though I think
So with Python, all you need to do with Python is
in most languages, you do prints and you put them in that.
yeah,
So also execute as a shell command.
as a shell command. Cool. So Python you
Like try sorry, let's try prints. Okay, let me try. Run your Python.
so for Python you import OS library. So OS dot system, right? System. Okay, let me put this in brackets. LS, okay. So with Python, this is my Python shell. So with Python, you can do this and yeah, it's run. With PHP, either shell exec or exec works. Okay, JavaScript. You can just JavaScript has to be known. Now it's not wrong with JavaScript.
Well, for this.
So basically, that's how you can use it in your programming languages. Now, FFmpeg anything video processing takes a lot of CPU power. So, for instance, let me just run a fast command because we are running out of time. Handler.mp4 dash dm dash dm. So now I'm running a file now using FF. The file is running here. I'm running it using FFmpeg. So I'll open another tab. So in another tab, I will do to see all the commands in this thing. You just say top, right? And you can see all the processes. Now to identify FFplay, where is FFplay? FFplay. Okay, now see FFplay. See CPU utilization of FFplay. That's 16. This is even very fair enough because we're not doing much. Assuming we're doing so much, like CPU utilization will be like 90. So how do you take care of this? You could first of all you could decide to use CPU flags in your command. There's a way for you to run for you to specify a CPU limit of every command you're running. Like imagine having 1,000 users running FFmpeg on your server. Your server is gone. So most times, what people do is they use VPS. They use VPS, virtual private hosting that would things like compute engine that could automatically spawn new servers. So in that way, if once the server gets done, you could spawn it. But optimize all these things are not really optimizing it. They are just things, but you should limit the CPU for each of your commands. So it's all about being aware that okay, do I need to really apply this filter? Do I need to run FFmpeg every time a user makes a change to anything, to any to makes any change to my video app? For instance, rather than running something in FFmpeg and revealing to the user, you can use probably if it's just an image you wanted to overlay. There are player frameworks out there that allows you to treat the player as if it's a DOM. You can overlay an image on the player and you don't have to pass it out to FFmpeg. So all this way you save your server from multiple hits. So things like that, you also have to be aware of when to change your codec or when to just copy out the codec straight out. So these are some of the things one needs to be really aware of when trying to optimize your video editing web app. So one thing I failed to tell us is okay, you processing a video, you want to tell the user, okay, this is the percentage to process. So when you run the command, when you run your normal FFmpeg commands, it shows you the amount of frames that has run. There is a way also to query with FFmpeg and you get the total number of frames. So by knowing the total number of frames and knowing the number of frames that has already processed, you'll be able to get your percentage. So with that, I think that's.
Let's open our video now that we're doing.
How don't you open that? Okay, we didn't open that. So what did we say with that? So this is the image we overlaid. It's quite small. You can also overlay a video on a video. So two videos will be playing. One video will be playing here, the other video. You can make the video so many wonderful effects you could do with it. So with that, ends our workshop. Thanks our viewers.